Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's CKA lab. In this lab, we're going to do a replica set. So let's look at the requirements. We need access to a cluster, of course, to do this lab. First, we're going to make a replica set with an nginx image with two replicas, and then we're going to add a pod selector for foo equals bar for the replica set. Then we're going to scale it up to 4 replicas, then scale it down to 2 replicas. And then we're going to spin up an nginx pod with the same label outside the replica set and see what happens to the replica set. That's the thing to find out. So let's go to Kubernetes website documentation. Let's just plug in or search for Replicaset. And we're just going to copy this. Now we can copy that. And so let's clear the screen. Let's do a.yaml. Okay, that didn't copy very well, but anyway, that's all good. So now it doesn't really matter what the name is going to be, so we'll just call it foo. Label for this particular replica set is irrelevant for our lab, so we don't really care. It's not required. The label on the replica set is not required, only for the template. All right, so modify. So to begin with, we're just going to have one replica, just one pod. Match label. This is the key part. So what they want us to do is foo equals bar would be the selector for pods. All right. So we're going to say foo equals bar. What that means is that if there's not enough pods with this label, then it will create new pods based on the template that's defined here. All right, so label, I don't think that matters a whole lot, but let's just make sure we don't get into any kind of trouble for not having the label. Here's the beef of this, right? We want what kind of pod do we want to run as part of this replica sets containers. Name could be anything. So again, we'll just make it foo. Image. This is going to be nginx. So what are we saying here, right? So we're saying, give me a replica set with one replica, just one pod, right? And the replica set will look for pod with this label, foo equals bar. And if it doesn't find one, it will create new pods based on this image, and it's going to give it that label. Let's see if that works. If I do k apply -f a.yaml, didn't like that. Error from server, blah, blah, blah. Replicaset in version v1 cannot be handled as replicaset. Cannot marshal string into go struct, blah, 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 blah. What does that mean? Error of creating an a.yaml. That's interesting. API version replicaset. That should work. Let's look at that. Apps v1. Yeah, we didn't change that. So that should really work. What is it saying? It's saying bad request error when creating a.yaml. Replicaset in version v1 cannot be handled as replicaset. Cannot marshal string into go struct field object spec. Oh, something's wrong in here. Object meta spec template metadata labels. I see. So I think I edited too much. So spec, let's look at the error message again. It's good to know how to read the error message, even though it looks cryptic. If you read closely, it gives you enough hints. So spec under template metadata label. All right, so template metadata label. So I think I messed something up there. Labels, template, metadata labels, something equals something, something colon something. All right. Oh, I think I left out a space. Let's see if that works. You see how if this works, you know how picky YAML files are. There you go. That worked. So k get rs. You see it works, and Right now, desired is 1, means we need one pod because we set replica to be 1, and currently we have 1. So if we do k get pod, you will see there's this guy running. This guy, this is the one that just started 17 seconds ago. All right, so that's the first step. Now we're going to scale up this replica set to 4. K scale, K is short for Kubernetes, K scale rs, name of the replica set foo, replicas equals 4. K scale required flag. Did I replicas maybe like this? Nope. All right, let's give it. Just look it up. Scale. If you do scale your app, out. That doesn't help at all. Scale. What happens if we do rs? Maybe it's in here already. Blah blah blah. Describe. Get pods. Apply pods. Templates. Looking for scale here. Command F. Scale. Ooh, lots of them. All right, let's see what the command looks like. Okay, not looking for auto scale, we're scaling manually. All right, let's keep going and see if we can find. No, okay, well, that's interesting. We'll have to troubleshoot this on our own. Let's look at K scale -h. Should give us examples, lots of them. Scale dash. Oh, it comes later. Okay, I get it. So it's the other way around. So we say case. Let's look at this. Basically, we can use. You could use this and just modify that. kubectl scale replicas equals 4. Replicatset name foo, which is our name. There you go. Now if we do k get rs, you will see it should say 4. And if we do k get pods, you will see that 5 of them running because 4 is outside the scale. This was running before, so we can just kill that if we need. K delete nginx pod nginx. So it doesn't. K delete. I think today is my day to swap command arguments. K delete pod nginx. How's that? Now if we do k get pod, you should only see the ones running from as part of the replica sets. All right. So that's second. Now we're going to scale it down. So we're going to run the same exact command that we ran before. We're just going to say 2. Okay, now if we do k get pod, you'll see there's only 2 running because now we said, hey, we only need 2. So that's all good. Now, here's the funny thing or the magic thing that happens. Now, we're going to create another pod with the same label, all right? So, k run nginx. Actually, let's do this. Let's look at the help so we can give it the label right away in the command. So there's a whole bunch of examples. I just need an example of the labels. Here you go. K run this, image this, label stat. Okay, so I'm going to grab that. So what we're doing here is we're running a command, we're running a pod by hand, right? That has the same label as the replica set, and see what happens. K run nginx. Let's just give it this name by hand. Image is going to be the same. Image equals nginx. Label, this is the key part. We're going to give it the same label as the replica set and see what happens. We're going to say foo equals bar. Okay, that pod's now if we do k get pod, let's see what happens. Terminating. What is it terminating? Oh, aha. See what happened here is this pod came up with the label foo equals bar. So the replica set then it's always running this cycle right behind the scene, looking for all the pods that have the same label. And it looked around and found a third one. It said, well, I don't need the three. My definition says I only need two. So it killed the latest one, right? So it came up and it was killed by Replicaset. I can prove that to you by running the same pod without the label, and that will stay. That will not get killed. So if I run that, and now if we do kget pod, you will see that it doesn't die. Why? Because this doesn't have the same label as the Replicaset pods, so it doesn't count. If I ran 10 different pods with the same label, they will all have the same fate. They will die by the hand of the Replicaset controller. It will say, I don't need that many with this label. All right. So that should be the last step in this lab. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So that was the CKA lab for today of replica sets and scaling and whatnot and how it matches with the labels, right? Labels are really, really important in Kubernetes. It's everywhere for everything, and it's also important in the CKA exam. All right, I hope you found this lab useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. That really helps me with the YouTube's algorithm. And I will see you in the next CKA lab.